Take a look at Audience Intersect. This is a free tool and it's very, very powerful. Now, a lot of you who know me will know that I was sort of against this tool, some time ago. And that was mainly because I had heard a few bad things in the industry. A few people lost their Facebook advertising accounts, and while it wasn't clear as to what caused those bans from Facebook, at the time, all of these people who were losing their accounts were actually using Audience Intersect. Now, I must stress that doesn't mean that Audience Intersect was the cause of it. Now, what Audience Intersect does is it talks to Facebook's API, and I'll go into that a little bit deeper in a minute. And in addition, my guy over at Facebook that I usually deal with for my advertising, he also mentioned to me that while he was aware of it, it wasn't something that was officially approved by Facebook. It doesn't take much to go out there and create an app that talks to Facebook's APIs and allows you to integrate with Facebook, okay? And even though this was developed by Teespring, Teespring is still a business. And at the end of the day, I had no official word from Facebook that this was okay to use. I didn't want to put my ad accounts at risk, and I was quite dubious. So this is why I was sort of against it before. I'm a bit old school. I like to do things above board and stay as transparent as possible in order to keep the ship sailing smoothly, okay? I don't want any problems. Now, over the last few months, things have changed a lot. I've heard quite a bit of positive feedback from Facebook in regards to Audience Intersect. More and more people are using it every day, and there doesn't seem to be any problems now. So I finally jumped over the fence, and we've been using this for the last 6 weeks. It's a hell of a lot easier to be able to split test campaigns. I never needed this because I've got quite a few people working for me, and I would just have them split testing a hell of a lot more campaigns than what I would need to do with by using Audience Intersect. But now several of our ad accounts use Audience Intersect quite regularly. We don't use it for every campaign, but a good majority of them are using this for targeting. Now, I'm sure a few of you have heard it, but for those of you who haven't, I'll give you a quick example using this example that they're giving us here on the screen. It's fairly self-explanatory, but for example, we wanted to target nurses who own Rottweilers, okay? You can't do that by default when you're targeting interests in Facebook. We could only target anybody who's interested in nursing or in Rottweilers. And that creates a bit of a problem because there's going to be a hell of a lot of people who have an interest in Rottweilers but they're not nurses, and vice versa. What Audience Intersect allows us to do is to be able to take those two interests and combine them. So effectively we're only targeting nurses or anybody who's interested in nursing who's also interested in Rottweilers. Everybody outside of those two interests together are discarded from the potential audience. And you can see the effect that it's had here on the intersect in the middle. For example, we've got 9.6 million people interested in Rottweiler, 11 million people interested in nurses. We put the two together, there's only 340,000. Okay, that's a significant amount of broad targeting that's going to be rubbish to our campaign. For example, if we're dressing up a Rottweiler in a nurse's uniform on a t-shirt, okay, we don't want anybody outside of that combined interest. So it is very, very powerful. So like I said, it's free. What we need to do is we jump over to their website here, and as you can see here, it's got a few different combinations here, giving you more of an example. Okay, just click on Get It Now. You're going to need to use Google Chrome for this, okay? So just go and install the Chrome extension, very, very easy, and then sign up for an account. Like I said, it's a free account. You don't have to pay anything, all right? And then all you do is just follow these simple instructions here, okay? I'll jump into a demo in a sec. I highly recommend you watch these videos on the introduction and installation, and also on the usage and tips, okay? Okay, now I'm going to fast forward quickly into an ad campaign that I actually set up in a future video in the next section, so don't worry about this too much. You'll get to that video in a second. I just want you to be able to understand Audience Intersect before we get to it, okay? Now, as you'll see here on the ad, after we've created the ad, in the targeting, placement and optimization field, we have a button here that says Audience Intersect. Just ensure that you do have the plugin installed and that you are using Google Chrome, and you'll see this. Okay, now to do this, we'll just simply click on Audience Intersect. As you can see here, we've got the current targeting that I've put in the campaign, which is just test targeting. But if we want to split these interests up, we can, all right? Here's where we're going to be combining our interests. For example, I want to go for anybody who's interested in engineering and as a Dodgers fan, the LA Dodgers, okay? Perhaps they also have a pet Labrador, or they're interested in Labradors. You can see how tight this gets, all right? So anybody who's interested in engineering, is an LA Dodgers fan, and also interested in Labrador Retrievers, is going to be our audience. And while I've been adding these, you can see the potential audience up here is changing quite significantly, all right? It's really narrowing these people down. We've gone from 3 million down to 600 odd thousand. We put in a Labrador Retriever. We're only getting around about 5,500 people, but this is very, very tight and an excellent way to be able to laser target these people. You see, when I remove that Labrador, the potential audience shoots back up to a very high number, So it is a fantastic tool and something I'm finally comfortable embracing in the business. I'm a little bit, like I said, I'm a little bit old school and like to be transparent. So it did take a while and quite a few chats with the account manager at Facebook just to ensure that everything was above board and we're good to go. Okay, so go and get Audience Intersect, get that set up in your Chrome browser before we start making our ads in the next section, and I'll talk to you then.